The Podcasting Dead is available on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, and SoundCloud. Make sure to subscribe for more podcasts. And while you're at it, drop us a like. If you want to help support the channel and have access to extra content, secret contests, and more, make sure to search for us on Patreon. Patreon.com/thepodcastingdead.
Happy Monday, everybody. I'm Justin.
Yeah, I'm JP.
And we're the Podcasting Dead, here to answer your questions about what-if scenarios. And we're going to get to as many of these as we can, but we got a little bit of a time constraint. And, some people, which we're glad you do, but some people leave multiple questions. So we're going to cut down a little bit just to make sure everybody gets it. So we get a chance to answer everybody's questions. So if you have multiples and we don't get to one of yours and you really want us to answer it, just copy and paste it in the comments at the bottom of this video, and we'll catch it next week around. If I see it 2 weeks in a row, that tells me you really want it answered, so we'll make sure to get to it.
Oh, yeah, and a lot of good stuff this week.
All right, here's your first one from Stephen Miller. What if Justin, Glenn, Nick, and Troy versus JP, Varys, Morgan Jones, and Alpha? Varys being from...
Do I get Cowboy Morgan, or is this just regular Morgan?
I don't think that's a fair match. I've got Nick, who's probably really doped out. Troy would be okay, and Glenn, well, no, I don't know. Glenn would be okay. No, you got Varys. I'm sorry. No, you don't have the even match. You got Lord Varys.
Yeah, he's going to be good for strategizing, but yeah, just in a fisticuffs, I don't know about old Varys.
Yeah, I don't know that he's going to be the best when it comes to assisting you in combat, but who knows? Maybe he would help you strategize.
Yeah, one can hope.
I think that my team would actually win that one. We got Nick. Nick could be okay, but Nick's doped up halftime. But we got Troy, and we got Glenn. Both can be combatants. You've got...
Yeah, Nick's definitely a wild card for sure.
Well, you know what? I don't know, though. You've got Morgan. I feel like Morgan could take Glenn, Nick, and Troy.
Yeah, probably so.
Like all at the... Actually, I reversed my decision. I think you win this one.
Morgan, man, he's going to be a game changer, especially if I got Cowboy Morgan.
Yeah, if it's Cowboy Morgan, then you know this shit's going to get real. Moving on to our buddy UV. What if Michonne found Rick and Shane... Wait, what? What if Michonne found Rick and Shane out on the road back in Season 2 when they're fighting each other? Would she intervene? If so, who would she help? Side note, Randall was tied up. I don't think she would have done anything. I think Michonne would have just, watched and then just went about her way.
Yeah, pretty much, man. I don't think she would have got mixed up in it.
I don't really see where it would benefit her.
Yeah. And she was still feral Michonne at that point anyway.
Yeah, and she was just kind of a nomad, just kind of wandering place to place. I think she really only saved Andrea because Andrea was kind of a damsel in distress at the moment, and Michonne just stepped in. But any other situation, especially two angry people fighting and one of them's trying to kill the other one, I think she'd have no desire to get mixed up in that.
Oh God, yeah, she'd have just kept walking her dogs.
And there are times where I feel like Michonne would have sided with Shane, but there are times where I feel like she could have sided with Rick.
Yeah. I could have seen her walking that dark path, kind of like that Mirrorland Michonne we saw this past season.
Yeah. Let's see. Maddie Williams. Talking about would Rick and Jim get along? She said only if he was in his character from The Quiet Place, not The Office. Yeah, the John Krasinski in The Quiet Place would definitely fit into The Walking Dead pretty well.
I still haven't seen that movie all this time. I want to see it. What is 2 of them out now?
You should. It's a good flick. It's a really good one, and John Krasinski would probably be way more proficient in the Walking Dead world because he's used to dealing with the alien creatures that are fast as hell and will cut you up in one slice and are strong as hell and yada, yada, yada. Now he's just going into a world where he just has to kill really slow-moving zombies. I think he would show up and be a beast.
Yeah. I just hope we get to see him as Mr. Fantastic in the MCU.
Let's see. UV also, UV again, so we'll answer this one from UV, and then we'll move to Ashley O'Neill. Says, the helicopter back in Season 1 when Rick was riding around in Atlanta, what if the helicopter was a military helicopter and Rick had caught its attention? I mean, I don't know. How do you think that would have played out if it was a military helicopter and Rick was like, hey, help?
The show definitely would have went a way different path.
And I'm like, damn, it sucks to be you, cowboy.
Yeah, no kidding. Ugh.
Let's see. No, I don't know that they would have done anything. I mean, I don't think they would have killed him, but I don't think they would have landed a helicopter in a city full of walkers just to rescue one guy they don't know, you know?
Nah, man. I mean, at that point, shoot, they were like firebombing cities, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, from what we saw in Fear the Walking Dead, what they call that, like Option Blue or something weird?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I don't think they really would have paid much attention to old Rick.
Nah, I think he would have been SOL.
Let's see. Ashley O'Neill asks, what if Rick wouldn't have gotten shot and in a coma? How would that have changed the relationship between Rick and Shane? Shane and Lori would not have taken the trip to the Barn of Pleasures together. And do you think they would have ever even found the quarry camp? That, you know, that's interesting because I feel like Rick and Shane were always destined to be at odds in the apocalypse just because they had totally different philosophies and ideologies when it came to this type of thing. So I think out the gate they would have been a little bit better because Shane wouldn't have had that jealousy. Because unlike the comics, I thought it was odd because we actually still have to do a Walking Dead Deluxe review of the last one. We'll get to that hopefully sometime this week. But
yeah.
You know, in that, when we see the Shane and Lori flashback, Shane straight up says, as him and Lori are getting it on, I've wanted this for so long. But then in the show, you know, Shane told Rick, and I believe him, that, you know, he never looked at Lori like that before. Like, you know, that wasn't, you know, I feel like there was some sincerity in that. He was like, you know, I just want you to know, you know, before that, I never looked at her. Like, I don't think that Shane, like, in the show, wanted to bang Lori before Rick got shot. I think it was circumstances that put them together. But I still feel like Rick and Shane would have had it out at some point over some situation.
Yeah, man, I'm like you. I think they definitely would have came to a head just as far as who was going to lead the group. And, you know, I think Shane still would have adopted that just, like, killer mentality that it took Rick, like, 4 seasons to get to?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it took Rick, I'd say, to, like, the end of season 4 to really get to that stone cold killer kind of place.
Yeah.
You know, and then on top of that, you know, and now what's interesting to think about, though, is I don't know if Shane would have tried to kill Rick over it, though. You get what I'm saying? Like, he was pretty much trying to kill Rick over Lori. But, you know, if Rick and Shane would have survived in the beginning together, I feel like, I don't know that they would have ever gotten to a point where they would have gotten into a fight to the death. I feel like they just would have had odds and split, you know, apart at some point. I don't know that they would have came to straight up Shane trying to murder Rick out in the field.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think without, you know, the Lori love triangle, it wouldn't have come to that. No.
Yeah, I mean, Shane wanted to be Carl's daddy. He wanted to be Lori's daddy. So, I mean, it just, you know, but, you know, without that aspect of it, I think him and Rick would have definitely, I mean, but what would have been cool is if it wasn't for the whole Lori thing, you know, there's a good possibility that Shane and Rick could have parted ways earlier in the show, and then later on, season like 5 and 6, Rick meets back up with Shane, and they start getting along better because now Rick is basically looking at things the same way Shane was.
Yeah, that's true, man. It is weird how quick Shane's, you know, transformation into that killer was.
Yep, and I think they still would have found the quarry. I mean, I feel like, I don't know, you know, we really won't ever know how Rick would have reacted to the beginning of the apocalypse. I don't know if he maybe would have tried to go, like, to his parents or Lori's parents, or if he had somewhere else to go. I kind of I don't know. Like, part of me thinks Rick might have went to Atlanta. But I don't know. I like to think they still would have found the quarry.
Yeah, man, I think they would have ended up in Atlanta, although it would be cool to, if they had a stayed hunkered down and then meet Morgan, and the whole family's there with Morgan and his son and, Dwayne.
So yeah. Yeah, if Rick would have never been shot, we wouldn't have Morgan, and then we wouldn't have gotten Cowboy Morgan.
That's right. That would have been a real crime.
Let's see. Jimmy says, what if the governor didn't kill Herschel and the group never met Abraham, Eugene, and Rosita, but Herschel ended up being the one to get Lucille in the lineup? Ouch. How would the group's reaction have been different if Glenn tried to stop it, or if a similar reaction as Daryl had, who would have been the second victim? Oh, man, that'd be heartbreaking. I truly think I would have quit watching The Walking Dead if I would have had to have watched Negan bash Herschel's head in.
Oh, dude, yeah, that would have been way worse than getting decapitated. Even though it did take a couple good whacks with that katana.
Yeah, I mean, we did watch him get decapitated, and that was horrific. But watching him get his sweet little brains bashed in, I couldn't have done that.
Nah, dude, I don't think there would have been any love for Negan after that, no matter how charming he is.
Yeah, that would have been no redemption for him at all. And I also think that, if Glenn was the one to get up and swing, then it probably would have been Daryl to get killed.
Oh, yeah, dude, without a doubt.
I have to believe, there's a else world. It's kind of like one of those parallel universes where things are the opposite. So, Glenn gets up and punches Negan for bashing Herschel's brains in, and as a result, Negan turns around and kills Daryl.
Oh, dude, that'd have been wild to see.
It would have very, very tragic too. I would have been that would have been horrible. I mean, it would have made for good drama and heartbreak, but it would have been horrible to watch.
Yeah, man. I don't think anybody would have wanted to see that.
Let's see. What if after killing Alpha? This one's from the Kyle, King of Trash People. What if after killing Alpha, Negan took the opportunity to become the new Alpha and the leader of the Whisperers? Would Beta have stayed loyal to him, and would Negan have continued the war? What would Negan do with that power? Number one, Beta would not be loyal to him.
Oh, no, dude. It would have been one or the other. There would have been no Beta to Negan. Nah.
Yeah, I don't see Beta ever being Beta to Negan, especially, he was already suspicious, and with Alpha dead, Beta would have known straight up what the deal was. So there's no way he would have bowed to Negan. Maybe he would have challenged him, in which case comic Negan and Beta brawling was totally different. Negan actually hung in there and gave him the business, but TV show Negan, I don't think would have stood a chance against Beta.
Yeah, oh yeah, dude, without a doubt. Yeah,
I just don't think he was, it's like someone could argue, well, he could take Daryl, but Daryl took Beta, but I think Daryl's more resourceful than Negan in that regard.
Yeah, dude, hand to hand, I think Negan would be done.
It'd be interesting, though, to think about what Negan would have done with that power. Even if he decided to be the new Alpha, I don't think he would have continued the war on the group, because he still had a soft spot for Judith. He had a soft spot for a soft spot for a couple of people, even more than I think he realizes. So I don't think, even if he did decide, to hell with this, I'm going to be the new Alpha and lead the Whisperers, I don't think he would have continued the war. I feel like he would have moved on somewhere else.
Yeah, man. If that had been his move, he'd have just rode off into the sunset.
Yep, exactly. Stephen Miller. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off, man.
Oh, no. I was just saying he'd be lots more love making with socks on.
Yeah. Stephen Miller says, what if the unsullied army of Game of Thrones, led by Daenerys Targaryen with her dragons and without, faced off against the saviors, pre-Rick of The Walking Dead, led by Negan? Could Negan beat Daenerys? Why or why not? Which side would you pick and why? With the dragons? Hell no.
No, dude, nobody's taking her out with the dragons.
Hell no. I mean, I know they got machine guns and stuff, but she decimated an entire town of people, and they had things to shoot dragons out of the sky. I mean, somebody's got a 50 BMG sitting on the back of a truck, but as long as she was aware of that, I mean, I don't think, and without the dragons and the Unsullied, I mean, it's tough because the Saviors have guns, but the Unsullied outnumber them. I still feel like Daenerys is going to win either way.
Yeah, dude, the Unsullied are unstoppable. Get out of here. They would taken one outpost, got enough guns, and yeah, it'd have been done deal.
Oh yeah, and Stefan asks, which side would you pick and why? Daenerys, because she's going to win.
Yeah, for sure.
As
long as I don't have to be a eunuch like Grey Worm, yeah, I'm down. Count me in.
They're going to make you their new Varys.
Oh, God.
Let's see. What if Abraham, and this is from Stefan, what if Abraham and Glenn's Season 5 group ran into the Saviors instead of Terminus, as in they stay on the road and eventually, although not making it to D.C. because of Eugene's eventual confessions, meet the Saviors? How would this change the story? How would Season 5 Glenn and Abe's group react to Negan and co. in a lineup situation of that group who dies? And finally, most importantly, would Abraham and Glenn bend the knee to Negan? Remember Rosita, Maggie, Season 5, short hair, Tara, and Eugene, blah, blah. Then again, the lineup does happen before any bending of the knee. Keep that. Hell no, Abraham would have never bent the knee to Negan.
Nah, dude, that's why he died in the first place. Nah, he never would have rolled over.
I could see Glenn doing it just to survive and get back to Maggie, but there'd be no loyalty there.
Nah, he'd have been a straight double agent.
And even still with that lineup, Abraham would have died because he still would have bucked to Negan.
Yeah, no way it would have been anyone other than Abraham.
It was destined to happen.
Absolutely.
Let's see. We're coming up on the end here. Let's see. One from James Galagos. What if Lori would have survived all the way to Alexandria? Well, I don't know that Justin and JP would have made the journey themselves.
Oh, dude, by far. But I don't want to say I hate her more than any other character, but it's a pretty close call.
I still hate Andrea more than I hate Lori. Yes, Lori played Rick and Shane. I like to think that Lori was just in a tough spot and didn't know what to do because she was legitimately mad at Shane because she thought Shane lied to her about her husband being dead just to get in her pantaloons, and then he comes back and Shane looks like a liar, and then Shane tries to kind of rape her, and it's a weird situation to be in. Her mistake was, one, going to Shane out there at the windmill. She should have left well enough alone. All she did was re-spark that fire in him to make him think that maybe some way they could be a Shane and Lori, and then she got mad at Rick for killing Shane after Rick straight up said that Shane took him in the field to kill him, and the whole Randall thing was just his way to be alone with Rick. After Lori had just told him that Shane was going to kill somebody and they needed to do something about it, and her going, and like not wanting Rick to touch her, that was Lori's two biggest sins in my book. But even still,
by season 3, man, I was hating Lori something hard by season 3.
Oh man, yeah. And if Lori would have made it all the way to season 5, the Alexandria started in season 5, so yeah. I don't think Rick would have been as savage. I mean, and it's weird because he was that savage to protect Carl, but I don't know. I don't know if he would have gotten as savage as he did if Lori was still around.
Oh no, dude, she definitely would have been the weakness that probably took him out.
Like her dying is what led to his first break where he stomped around the prison and was hacking zombies up with the axe and stuff.
Oh yeah, dude. She couldn't have went any sooner in my book.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I would have rather seen her get bit at the camp instead of Amy, quite frankly.
Anything but Lori or Andrea. I don't want Andrea there either. Now, if they would have written Andrea better, because I've said this before, I'll say it again, it's not Laurie Holden's fault. The actress who played Andrea, she only could do what she was given to work with as far as an actress. I think she's wonderful. I just hate the way they wrote Andrea, especially when you consider how awesome, pivotal, and kick-ass her character was in the comics.
Yeah, that wasn't their best moment with that character. Yeah.
One more from James as we come close to the end here. What if Dwight didn't miss and kill Daryl and not Denise at the tracks? Ooh, Rick would have been heartbroken.
Yeah, man, and I mean, I get that Denise had like medical training, but as far as just human value, they definitely would have been hurting a lot worse.
Do you think we would have gotten to see Rick like drop down to his knees, reach his hands into the sky, and yell, "Dare Bear"?
Oh, dude, without a doubt.
I would have loved to have seen that.
Yeah. Yeah, man. But I guess on the plus side, he wouldn't have fell on that rebar after what Daryl did, in that season.
That's a very, very true statement. Rick would have probably never fell on the rebar. He wouldn't have gotten blown up, and Rick would still be in the show. Everything is Daryl's fault.
When you think about it, it kind of is.
I agree. Chucky, we'll make this quick because Chucky, it's a lot to explain. But Chucky says, "Hi, I saw Carl Grimes died. Can you tell me why did they kill him off? I was so mad they killed him off. By the way, awesome video." Number one, you're awesome, Chucky. Number two, a long story short, Carl met a man named Sadiq at a gas station, and Sadiq was like hungry and basically was kind of like Carl. It was like the way you or I would be trying to take in a stray puppy. Rick didn't want to have it, so Carl left him food, and he got to know Sadiq, and Sadiq said his mom thought that the zombies still had souls, so he killed zombies for his mom or some stupid shit like that. So then Carl decided to help him in honor of his mom, and then Carl, who has handled many, many walkers in the past, got bit by a walker, and then he died. I can't tell you why they did that from a writing standpoint, because when you look at everything they had been setting up, Carl dying makes absolutely no narrative sense and was probably one of the lowest points of the show. That's all I got to say about that. JP?
Yeah, man, it was shock value, just plain, and I guess maybe some ill will towards Chandler Riggs. I know there's still like conspiracy theories with that, like Gimple was salty at Chandler's dad or something. That's why he killed him off, supposedly.
Yeah, there's rumors of like some saltiness behind the scenes, and Scott Gimple and Chandler Riggs. I don't know, because I know that Chandler Riggs had just signed like a 3-year contract for the show, and was super excited for 3 more years of being on it. And then, according to Chandler Riggs' father, then he just pretty much gets fired right after that. So who knows why Scott Gimple sometimes... I'm not going to say Scott Gimple hasn't given us good Walking Dead, because we've gotten some great moments from Scott Gimple, but we've also gotten some really WTF moments from Scott Gimple.
And that was by far the worst.
I mean, without a doubt. I mean, it's the dumbest thing he ever did as showrunner, and I'll never understand why that was done. Again, if it was the opposite and Chandler Riggs had wanted out of the show, kind of like Nick on Fear the Walking Dead, I could understand and I could forgive it and say, well, that sucks. But I mean, what can you do when the actor's leaving the show? You still could have killed him off in a better way, but at least I wouldn't blame it all on Scott Gimple and the writers.
Yeah, it was, God, that was such a bonehead move. And that's when a lot of, The Walking Dead lost a lot of viewership after the Negan cliffhanger, but golly, there's no telling how many dropped off after that.
Oh, yeah, it was a lot, definitely. And Chucky, hopefully that explains it. Thank you so much for listening. Our boy Eternal Wreck, we love Eternal Wreck, says, what if Merle was the one who tied somebody to the roof back in Alexandria? Eternal Wreck, I just butchered your question. Let me try that again. What if Merle was the one who tied somebody to the roof back in Atlanta? Who would he have picked? Or who would... Wait, what? Who would you have picked? What if Maggie would have got shot holding Judith while exiting the prison at the end of Season 3, Episode 4, back when Judith was born? Keep in mind, Lori would have still died, but somebody mysteriously shot her. Eternal Wreck, we love you. I think if Merle could have tied anybody to the roof, if he ties somebody to the roof, then maybe that means Rick didn't intervene, in which case it probably would have been T-Dog, because he was pretty racist. T-Dog. But, if Rick would have hit him with the gun and he somehow overpowered Rick, then I definitely think he would pick the guy who was attacking him.
Yeah. In that situation, I guess it would have had to been Rick. Which I don't know that he would have tied him up there, though. I feel like he would have thrown his ass off the roof or something in the state he was in.
Yeah, and Merle's a pretty racist bastard, so I feel like he would have definitely tied up anyone who wasn't white.
Yeah.
Which would have ruled out everyone, I think, but him, Rick, and Andrea.
Yeah, Merle, he was not quite as lovable that first season as he was, later on, but...
Yeah, he grew. He's kind of like a tumor. You in the beginning... Oh, never mind. That's a terrible example. Never mind. Let's see. And we are going to wrap it up with our boy Jonas Balili. And JP, I know you're not on Facebook right now, but Jonas actually did his first video podcast. He was talking about talking about telling people stories with video and things like that. And he gave us some love.
Oh, dude, that's awesome. I'll next time we're around one another, you'll have to show it to me.
Yeah, I'll pull it up and show it to you. Like I saw where he tagged us in a comment or whatever, and then I had listened to part of it, and then I think the baby started it. Something pulled me away from my phone, and then I went back and rewatched it this week, or to finish watching it, and I saw where he said some really nice things about us. Like I would legit, if I was someone other than us, I would totally have believed we paid him to speak so highly of us.
Well, maybe next time we should.
Yeah, we need to start paying people to pump us up. We need to start paying for reviews. But here we go from Jonas Balili. What if Angela Kang asked you for an arc idea to end Daryl's character? How would it go? It can be anything. Humorous, gruesome, delightful, heroic, anything. JP, let me ask you first, because I don't want to just hog the mic. How would you end Daryl's story?
Oh, geez. Man, I would give him the comic spoilers. I'd figure out a way to work him into the Dwight death, like in the comic.
Yeah, I think I would end Daryl's story, no kidding, with him being an old man. It's a long road to it. We would need hours to, I guess, discuss how he gets there. But I actually would kind of give him Negan's comic end, in the sense of not him being sad and depressed, but like Daryl he loves people, but he likes being alone. And I don't know. I don't know that if I wrote it, I don't know that you would see him die, but I think that we'd have a flash forward and Judith would be a grown woman leading Alexandria, I guess, or wherever she's at, and we'd see the different communities, and then it would kind of Daryl's story would just kind of wrap up. You would see him step out on his porch, and he'd have like a little cabin in the woods, not far away from everybody, but to himself. And one might argue he needs to have some woman, but I don't think Daryl's ever shown romantic interest in anyone other than maybe Connie. So he doesn't necessarily have to have a wife or anything, but Daryl would step out as an old man, maybe chewing on a squirrel. And I don't know. I think it'd be too cliche just to kill him heroically.
Yeah, I like that idea. Old man Daryl. Yeah, that'd be all right with me.
Sometimes it sucks that after all the shit they go through, they die. So with Daryl, I would actually have him go out. His story would end with some peace. He'd have his own cabin inside of a safe zone, but away enough from people that he has his own privacy, but close enough that he can be there when he needs to be. But he's an old man. Maybe Judith, rolls up to his house and brings him some supplies, and she's like, come on out, I know you're awake. And then the camera would pan back as you see some feet step out, and it's an old man Daryl, and he's like, you don't need to keep taking care of me. Do something silly. And she's like, maybe it would be like a sitcom, and she's like, Daryl. The crowd laughs.
Sounds like it would turn into the episode with him at the cabin with what's her name?
With what?
The one where he's at the cabin with what's her name? Jeez, why can't I think of her name? I guess because I hated that episode so much.
Oh, you're talking about Beth?
Beth, yeah. I kept wanting to call her Becky.
Or like she's secretly alive, and he's like, "That's right, I got me a younger woman. She drinks moonshine."
Oh man,
and she cries a lot.
Yeah.
No, but I think it would be cool for Daryl just to be at peace. Like he's got his own little cabin. I mean, at this point, he'd have to have a new dog because as much as we love dogs, they don't live very long. So I'm sure a dog wouldn't be there anymore. Maybe he's got a couple of dogs. He's inside of a safe zone. His crossbow's hung up on the wall, and he's just kind of enjoying some peace finally after all these years.
Yeah, man, that'd be good to see. I vote for Old Man Daryl.
I mean, in Jonas, it'd be a lot more detailed than that. But I mean, just that would be the main idea I'd probably follow, and then craft it into something a little bit more detail oriented. But all right, so we got just two more quick ones from Jonas, and that's going to wrap it up again. For those that asked a lot of questions, just repost the ones you want answered the most at the bottom of this one, and we'll definitely get to them the next time. Like I said, if I see that you've done it twice, we'll definitely answer it. But Jonas also says, if you were in The Walking Dead... wait a minute. If you were in the Walking Dead universe, which character would have a vendetta against you? And he says, Jadis, Abraham, Shane, or Morgan. Which one of those four do you think you'd have a vendetta with? Or more so, not even you, but they would have beef with you.
Man, if it was like peace, all lives matter, Morgan, probably him, man, because he got on my nerves like nobody's business back in the day.
Yeah, that's true. I think mine would be a toss-up between Shane and Morgan, and for absolute opposite reasons. I feel like Shane and I would definitely have problems because, I think we would all turn savage if we survived long enough in that universe, but at the same time, I definitely would have bit back and not been very fond of Shane's brutality and just his crazy attitude. I feel like I would have pissed Shane off if I were in that universe quite a few times because you know me pretty well. I'm pretty damn stubborn myself, so I believe Shane and I probably would have clashed a couple of times. And then at the opposite end, I also think that, while I would like to offer peace and leave people alone and not kill people, at the same time, I can tell you if I were in Rick's situation and I had like my daughter with me in some community, I wouldn't go out and kill you for looking at me wrong. But I mean, the second you threatened my group, you're a threat to me, my people, and most importantly, my child. So probably going to take you out if I get a chance.
Oh yeah, no kidding. So I don't know, man. Yeah. I think Morgan would burn my biscuits more than anybody.
Who did? Morgan?
Yeah.
Yeah. All life is precious, P.
Yeah.
All right, this is a fun one to wrap it up with. So, Jonas Belilli says, what if the zombie apocalypse began and you get to choose the following to survive and begin your new life? So, number one, instead of reading all of these and then you try, having to, because I've got them in front of me, so I'm just going to go, there are 7 of them, and we're going to name what we would pick. So, first off, JP, what melee weapon would you pick?
Battle axe, for sure.
Like Jerry's big battle axe?
Yeah, or man, like Morgan's axe, man. That's the axe I'd go for. Part staff, part axe.
Yeah, Morgan's battle axe / staff. But having Jerry's battle axe is not going to make you Ezekiel's right hand in the Barn of Pleasures.
Now you tell me.
Yeah, so you might want to rethink that one. No, I think my melee weapon would be, I would like to, probably the Ontario RTAC 2. It's not quite machete length, but it's much bigger than your average knife. It's got like a 10, 11 inch blade on it. I own one. And the reason I would pick that is because it's so robust. Like I have a sweet trade, what is it called? A Priscilla, which is a machete, but it's really shaped kind of like a sword. I mean, it's a badass, but machetes are thin. They break a lot easier. I feel like the RTAC 2 is a robust, nice, thick knife that you can also, chop off heads and skulls and stuff with, but you don't have to worry about it breaking as much as you would. So probably the RTAC 2 for me.
Yeah, man, you have to let me see that.
At first, I was going to say like some kind of blunt object because knives eventually get dull, and if you don't have knives, sharpening stones, but at the same time, if the knife goes dull, then it's just a blunt melee object anyways. It's still just a hunk of metal.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, what type of gun would you want, JP?
Man, probably. I'm not a marksman. I'm just give me a 12 gauge shotgun. I can hunt with it. I can, I'll take the shotgun.
I can verify that because JP's been on the hunt for a decent home defense shotgun. So I definitely think once you had one, if Schnit hit the fan, that's the first thing you'd grab for.
Oh, absolutely, man. I definitely think that's just, it's like a fire extinguisher. It's just something you need in the house, Oh, yeah, absolutely. If I had to grab a handgun, it would be a toss-up between my Glock 45 and, no, I don't mean 45 caliber. It's a Glock 45, which is actually a 9mm. I would pick that or either my CZ P10C. One of those two, because they're both super reliable and they're both just awesome guns. And 9mm would probably be one of the easiest ammos to find. If I had to pick a long gun, it would definitely be like my Ruger AR 5.56 because it's a lot of 5.56 out there. It's fairly lightweight, easy to maintain. So if I had to pick, I feel like a lot of people would pick AK just because of how durable they supposedly are. But I believe I would go with my. I believe I'd go with the Ruger AR 5.56 or either one of those two pistols. What kind of vehicle would you want, JP? Like what brand and model? Oh, dude, probably a Bronco, like like one of the big ones, like an OJ type Bronco.
That is a great choice.
I like me a Bronco, man.
I'd like to have mine. You know what? I believe I'd just pick the same thing, but I want the new Broncos. I mean, granted, who cares in the zombie apocalypse? But man, you'd be styling in that thing.
Yeah,
and it's tough.
They've got new Broncos now.
Yeah, I'm basically just going to trade my truck in on one soon. I mean, I have a vehicle provided by the company I work for, so I'm putting next to no miles on my truck, and it's still not even at 80,000 miles. So I'm probably just going to give it another year or so and just trade it in on a brand new Bronco.
Oh my God, I would not be mad at that.
Which it might be a little used then, but still. But I love them. But if I had to pick one vehicle, I would want something similar to what JP said. I mean, an old big Bronco would be nice, or just something big and solid. If not that, maybe like one of those K5 Blazers. Oh yeah, those are nice too. Or hell, the truck I've got I'm cool with. It's a big old F-150 4-door. She's a tank, just something big. I mean, I guess I'm gonna, since JP said Bronco, I guess I'll just say man, that is tough. You want something big, but you want something, I mean, you know what, fuel efficiency is important too, though. That's true. That's something I didn't consider before. You got to think of something that's good. It's fuel efficient. Shane didn't do too bad on his Hyundai Sonata. Yeah, or a Hyundai, true. Whatever that thing is, Tucson. What, they have like an Aztec at one point? I can't remember. A what? Like ice an Aztec truck? Or something? I don't know, huh? I have to go back and rewatch. I've been wanting to go back and rewatch the show again anyways. Yeah. But it's, you know what, something a little more fuel efficient for me. So I would pick like a Subaru Outback. Dude, Subarus, I hear, are super reliable. Oh yeah, man, and it's all-wheel drive, so it'll get you out of situations. If you get stuck in mud, it's a better chance of getting out. So yeah. Number 4, any lover in the Walking Dead universe by your side. However, JP and me, you always say Victor Strand. I always say Jess. Well, we can't pick either one of them, so you got to pick someone else. Oh man. Shucks. You did. Jonas just really did you dirty right there, didn't he? Yeah. I mean, and all it's making me do is like figure out who I could make look like Victor Strand the easiest.
So let me just let me get my mind off that. Shoot, this is too difficult. This is too much. It's too hard.
You can do this, JP. I have faith in you.
I'll go with Madison. I think she'd protect me and raise me right.
Madison?
I think I'd go with her. Yeah.
That's not a bad choice. I like Madison.
Like I said, I want someone who can keep me safe.
I think I'm going to go with Rosita on this one. Can't go with Michonne because she's got Rick. Rosita ain't really with anybody.
She's available.
No, I mean, if I had to pick, it would. I don't know. I don't know. I think I'm going to go with Rosita because while Michonne's a badass and she's definitely a survivor, because I would like my lover to also be someone that can have my back, someone that can save me if need be. And I feel like two of the tops or three of the tops really would be like Alicia, Michonne, and as far as that I'd be into Michonne, Alicia, and Rosita. But I've always found Rosita extremely attractive, so I'm gonna say Rosita.
Yeah,
and she knows a few more things than Michonne does. She knows about explosives and like survival tactics and stuff. So I feel like we'd be all right.
Yeah, man, I can't argue with that decision.
All right, we've only got 3 more things. We'll get through these quick. I know time's running short. We got one survival item. So, like, one item that you might find in, like, like survival gear.
Oh. Man, those, like, the filtering water bottle things, I guess that'd be coming pretty handy.
Oh, yeah, you're talking about, like, the one that kind of like what I got, like that Sawyer mini squeeze or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good choice. That's a good choice. I'm going to pick something different just because you said that, because that actually it's definitely something you're going to need because you're going to be possibly drinking lots of contaminated water. But you can also boil water to help, and it's not always 100% effective, but boiling water is a good way to get rid of a lot of the bacteria and stuff. So I'm going to go with a big-ass pack of waterproof matches. Like water and windproof matches, because if you get some real ones, some good real deal waterproof matches, man, them things are awesome.
Yeah, man, isn't that, well, I was thinking of Naked and Afraid. They give them whatever they, yeah, okay, so never mind.
Yeah, so I think I'm going to go with a big box of water / and I'll think of something totally different when I get off the air and be like, damn it, I should have picked a compass.
Yeah.
Or a Swiss Army knife, but I'm going to go with that. One sentimental item that is not useful. It just means a lot to you.
Huh. That's a tough one. It'd probably be a Batman action figure. I just try to keep one with me at all times anyway, so I think it gives me strength.
I'm very disappointed in you. I thought it would have been like you Captain Picard, because you always look to him for wisdom.
That's true. Yeah, Batman for bravery, Picard for wisdom. Although Picard had plenty of both, believe me. So yeah, it would be an action figure, but it would be tough choosing which one I grabbed about the house.
I believe one sentimental item, something of my daughter's, I'm sure, maybe be it her little cat mini blanket thing that she can't be without, or, maybe a toy she played with, but it would definitely be something. So, like, if I had to just pick, let's just go something super cliche, but a picture of my girlfriend and my daughter. I feel like that's fair. That's a sentimental item for me that doesn't help in surviving, but at least it gives me something to reminisce on.
I think you should pick the kitty cat blanket and wear it like a cape, and that'll be like your apocalypse uniform.
Be my apocalypse hero costume.
Yeah.
All right. This is the very, very last one. So, who is your Walking Dead universe right-hand man or woman going to be? If I can pick people from the real world to take with me, even though you're not going to throw this back at me, I know, I would pick JP. I think JP and I think that we would survive pretty well together. We've worked together for years, and we work together very well. I think that, I mean, not that we don't ever sometimes have differences of opinions or whatever, but I think we would fare pretty well together in the apocalypse.
Excuse me. Cough coming at you. That's true. Well, I think we might just make it, kid.
Yeah, if I had to pick someone within the Walking Dead universe, I think I would pick Abraham. He's big, strong, and he would make me laugh the whole apocalypse.
That's true. And I'm sorry, I actually changed my mind. I have to go with Julius. I'm going ride or die with Julius. It was a tough decision, but it's Julius. For those of you who don't know, listen to what Julius has sat in on, like mail calls or Patreons.
Wait, what? Oh, wait. Oh, say that again. I'm sorry, you got a little muffled.
Yeah, I was talking about Apocalypse Companions, and I was just like, I had a change of heart. I'm going with Julius.
Oh, okay, that's cool. I picked JP. He picked someone else. I called it.
Oh man.
But it's okay. I still think we'd be okay. But yeah, I would pick JP, and if I had to pick someone from the wall, actually, I'm going to pick Daryl. To be honest with you, Daryl makes the most sense out of anybody. I mean, the dude, you give the dude a pocket knife, and he can survive out in the wild. I mean, if I said Abraham, I take it back. Walking Dead universe people, definitely going to be Daryl.
Yeah, and we'll go ahead, and for me, I'll take Victor Strand off the board because obviously he's my go-to, and I will go with Nick. I think we'd have a lot of fun, Nick and I.
You said Rick?
Nick from Fear.
Oh, Nick. Yeah, okay. I would have thought you said Victor Strand, but you're trying to go something else.
Yeah. I know that's my go-to, so I'm gonna switch it up a little bit, and I'll just go with my good party brother, Nick.
Not a bad choice. Well, thank you guys so much for the Walking Dead What Ifs. Great questions as always. If we didn't get to yours, please just resubmit it at the bottom of this podcast in the comments. We want to get to it, but it's just hard to fit all of them into one video. But yeah, we'll see you on the Patreon at some point twice this week, I promise. But in the meantime, JP, anything else you need to say?
I say be looking out for Patreon casts Thursday and Friday again. I'm off Thursday, so I would say keep that on your radar.
Okay, so we're thinking maybe Thursday and Friday?
Thursday and Friday, yeah.
Hey, that might just be the new Patreon time for the time being. So patrons, don't get discouraged. If you don't have one on Tuesday or Wednesday, we will get you one by Thursday, in which case you'll probably have another one on Friday. But in the meantime, I'm Justin.
I'm JP.
And we're the Podcasting Dead. Please subscribe, like, comment, and love.